Okay, another one, as DJ Khaled would say. Just waiting for y'all to come online and our big guest. There you go. Hi, gorgeous.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
You're
It was
good?
because I wasn't following, but I think that's what it was. My page was private.
I guess it happens. Now we're finally together. Unfortunately, I had to work today, but in this building, it's always very quiet around that time. It can just be that one lady goes with her dog. So if in between I'm talking German, don't be shocked. It will just be a minute or something, and then she's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Just good. Do you hear me? Because the connection is like a little bit weird. Okay, great. Amber, how's life going after BGC? Where are you today?
I live in Jersey. It's great. I mean, life's amazing. I have a job and I have the kids and stuff. It's very
Your connection is like bugging a little bit. Can you maybe switch to mobile data or something?
I should be on the.
Oh, maybe it's. Oh. Okay. Well, let's. Is she coming back? Should we do it again? Accept. Oops. Let me accept her again, or invite her back in. There you go.
Is that better?
Now it's much better. Much better. You didn't age at all, Amber. Not. It's so crazy.
Lotion.
How long has it been? 15 years? 14 years?
Well, Gabby will be 12, so 12 years.
Oh, 12 years. Okay, so that much. Yeah, but still, you might have a secret. Like, is it drinking a lot of water?
Water, lotion. I don't wear makeup. Like, I don't really wear makeup. I didn't wear it on the show. I don't really fancy it. So what you get is what you get with me.
Yeah, you were always very natural, which makes you a unique bad girl. We never saw a girl like you before and never saw it afterwards.
Yeah.
And I know you are not so much into the BGC fandom and you weren't so present all the time. Was that by choice?
It was definitely by choice, I think. What did they say? Like girls trap guys by getting pregnant, but like my ex-husband trapped me by getting me pregnant. So I got pregnant and I just wanted to stay away from everything.
Yeah, which I understand. How did you feel about the show becoming that much more toxic after your season? Because after your season, it started to get really messy.
I wouldn't have been able to be a part of it. I think once they violated each other's things like over and over and over again, it was just too petty for me. And there's like a level of pettiness and like I couldn't have handled it.
Yeah, like in your season, the arguments were real. It was authentic, and it was like the way they casted you guys was just perfect. Like you, Annie, Kate, Natalie, Flo. That was just a crazy cast, and it was authentic. What happened there? It didn't feel like people are getting set up. Didn't
Well,
feel like.
the production and the casting crew changed after
Mhm.
the season. So originally, the first four seasons was produced by the same people that did like the Real World and Road Rules, different things, and then they changed the production after our season, and there was like new producers, executive producers. So
That's why it felt like a different show.
yeah.
Okay. Amber, we created this page to bring a little bit of change into that toxic fandom. You know, BGC fans like to be messy and to gossip, and they love to talk about the fights. We think we're really over it, like it's getting repetitive and boring. And we think you girls, you have so much more to bring to the table than fighting. In your case, for example, editing wasn't nice to you. You know, you were a little bit portrayed like a villain, which didn't fit to your personality at all. So it was
Well,
obvious.
I think a part of it too is I have a slick mouth, so I can say things, and you either understood where they came from, or then you just thought I was being an asshole. But in reality, I was just saying whatever was going on in the situation.
Yeah,
So,
you were very blunt, definitely. And you were not intimidated. That was something very impressive. Like you didn't let Natalie punk you, for example. So do you have an advice on for followers and watchers how to deal with bullies, how to deal with people who try to get you out of character?
think twice, speak once. So really, like, think about what you want to say before you say it. Oh, and really just um, don't pay attention to them. Love yourself more than anything that they could say could, bring you down.
Hmm. You were also very protective over your friends. Like it looked like you are have a big sense of loyalty, protecting Annie. That's how you fought Kate and stuff. So kudos to you for that. Are you still cool with Annie today?
Yeah, me and Annie are still cool. Kendra and I are probably the closest.
You
I've
and
talked,
Kendra?
yeah.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. And are you still in contact with Flo and Natalie sometimes?
Um, Natalie, I haven't really spoken to her in a while. She's doing her own thing. And then Flo was at my house about a year ago. She came and spent the night at my house in Jersey, and we hung out. So, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. She's planning to come to Berlin and visit me. She has family here too. And we just want to have a good time here in Germany together.
Yeah, that would be fun. She's
That would be
she's
absolutely
loads
fun.
of fun.
Were you asked for spin-offs like All-Star Battle or Love Games?
Yeah, so well, I went on Love Games with Kendra at one point, but I was already in a relationship. And then yeah, the All-Star Battle, I was asked to go to both of them. However, I'm not going to lose my career over a 10-day show, so I decided not to.
I think that's why a lot of you OGs didn't get cast because they knew they couldn't like use you as production puppets like they could with other people. And 1 second. Abend. Und gute Nacht. Dankeschön. Yeah, because they knew they couldn't use you as production puppets, and that's why we didn't see so many OGs back like we wanted. And we saw always the same girls again
Yeah.
because they knew they would bring a certain type of drama to the show, right?
No, I think it was definitely that, and you had to look at where people were in their life or what they wanted. Like Natalie always wanted to be famous and to be in the limelight.
Christoph dos Santos, ich bin der Neue. Dos Santos, da steht's. Nee, mein Ehemann ist Brasilianer. Ich bin Deutscher. Genau. Muito obrigado, boa noite. Dos Santos. Arriba, arriba. Gute Nacht. Amber, I'm so sorry, that's so unprofessional. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, where have we been with casting All-Star Battle and the OGs?
I think that some of the girls wanted to be famous, so willing to do whatever was asked of them or to make it known they were this bad girl. But in reality, they're not like that when the cameras are off.
Yeah, I heard that a lot, and I can imagine many people said that she's actually pretty cool and chill when there's no cameras, and that she's really a nice girl normally. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that until this day she's still doing that thing, and now together with the zoos, like setting girls up, lurking them in and then making them look like an ass. That's just like so sad. So I don't understand the girls who are open to do that.
Yeah, money. People
Yeah,
have
and
to give it.
exactly, and they all think they could have a story like Tanisha or Natalie, but that doesn't happen just by fighting and acting like an ass.
I don't know.
Did you watch Baddies?
No, I didn't. I mean, I watched a couple clips and was like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed, and then stopped watching.
Hmm. Was it in general with like how reality TV after your era turned out to be that you felt like, I don't want my name affiliated with that?
Yeah, I think it has to do with the fact that most of the girls are 30 something years old and have children and are okay with portraying themselves the way that they're portraying themselves on TV. So their children can see that. Um, and they weren't very mindful of how it would look to their kids, or, you know, if their kids are watching it, their friends see it, like they've been have to dealing with the shadow that you cast as a parent. So I think that that was just embarrassing.
Yeah. The father of your kid is not the boyfriend you had during the show?
My kid's father was the boyfriend I had, yes.
Ah, okay. Okay. So do you watch the recent ratchet reality TV, as people like to call it, Jocelyn Cabaret, One More Chance, and stuff like that?
No, I don't.
That's understandable. That's totally understandable. Um, right. So that's basically what I mostly wanted to ask you, is how to deal with toxic people, how to deal in toxic environments. Um, you did hostings after the show, and there's like a rumor that you tried to attack Kristen. Is that true?
That I attacked Kristen?
You tried to attack Kristen, and Annie held you back.
No, Kristen, we were in Vegas and Kristen got beat up by another bad girl, but it was not me.
It was Ashley season 3, right?
Yes, she whooped her ass.
And do you think it was deserved?
It was very much deserved. I mean, it was real, genuine disagreements. A lot of alcohol was flowing. Yeah, it was bad, but
But you weren't involved. You didn't
I
try
was
to jump.
I was just a present
Mm-hmm.
spectator. No, I wasn't involved at all.
Would you say that Lexi jumped Kate while you were fighting?
Yeah, but I would say that I didn't even realize what was going on until after it was over. But yeah, she definitely jumped in.
Yeah. That's something that I never understood, why people would call, for example, you a jumper. It didn't happen often, but sometimes I read it and I thought, no, like she initiated the fight with her, or Kate actually initiated the fight, and you were just defending yourself. And when people jump in, that has nothing to do with you. Like, that's not your
That's the
fault.
same as the situation with Natalie. I wasn't fighting Natalie. So initially, I wasn't swinging on Natalie. I was just trying to pull her off of Kendra because production had told us to sell. That's the only reason I got out of the minivan, was because we got told that we had to stop it as cast. They didn't want to like stop the situation.
Oh
So
my
I was
God.
literally had my arms around her and she reached up and grabbed by my hair. I didn't physically put my hands on her until she grabbed my hair.
Yeah, and from some angles you can see that she attacked Lexi and you while you were just trying to help. So that's also weird to call you jumper hose for that. But that fight was really crazy.
It was, it was
And
all.
afterwards you didn't see her until the reunion, right? She left, or was it just edited like that?
No, she never came back to the house.
Mm, okay,
No.
crazy.
And
And at the reunion,
I talked to her before the reunion, but yeah, Natalie's not who you guys think she is. She's actually a nice human.
I can definitely see that in her. But that's the way she got rich, right? That's the way she got famous. So why would she stop being like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope that one day we see her in another light, because Natalie is very interesting, and I think she's a great mother and everything, and that there has to be a reason that there's always people around her. She can't just be only a villain, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
She loves those who love her. So she takes care of her people that are around. So she's very family oriented and doesn't want anybody to grow up the way that she grew up. So that's where I'm from.
Yeah. There's a question from CJ Paxton. At the reunion, were you surprised that Natalie and Flo fought?
I was surprised that they didn't fight prior to it. I think their relationship was very wishy-washy. I think Flo goes back and forth. So you didn't know if she was your friend or if she wasn't your friend. I don't know. I don't want to say anything mean, so I'm just going to say she just goes back and forth. And so it was very confusing. So yeah, I think it surprised Natalie that Flo was so upset at her. And then I think it surprised Flo that Natalie started a lot of the situations that she thought Natalie was her friend and she wasn't.
You were pregnant at the reunion, right? You revealed that. Did they tell you like you will be protected even if somebody's mad at you? We will not let anybody touch you? Because I thought it's a little bit like of a liability to even let you go on that stage
Nobody
pregnant.
was touching me.
Nobody would have, nobody was touching you, but did they like promise you before, like, hey, nothing will happen?
Security behind me, but yeah, I knew previous to going out there that nobody was going to touch me. That would have been a really stupid choice on their behalf.
Yeah, okay, that's good then. Because I remember when Flo came out, Annie was like, "Oh, I'm scared." So did you guys think Flo will go around? Like,
I mean, if you saw Flo and I sitting, like standing beside each other, we're not the same size human. And like I said, you didn't know what Flo you were getting. You didn't know if you were getting like a really cool, chill, like homegirl or if you were getting a psychopath. So I didn't know which one was coming out the door and I didn't want to deal with it. So I just kind of knew I was going to just shut up and sit there and get paid.
you look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, Great. So,
I'm trying to
are
read
you?
questions. No, I don't really talk to Lexi. I know she has two babies, and she sent me a Christmas card, but I don't really talk to her. Um,
Do you think you
what,
could belonged on your season or prior season due to your personality?
I think I would have gone along with a lot of girls from season 3. I tend to talk to a lot of them still, so
You would have been the third Amber on season 3.
yeah, that would be weird though, because I like the one Amber. The other
Amber, the little
Amber,
one.
funny. She's just stupid, but like she's actually like really smart, like book smart, but she's really common sense dumb. So we kind of got along. Um,
That's
um,
such a nice, like you explained her great.
yeah. Do you think the life coach Laura? Okay, so I don't know if she helped or hurt. Was she really a life coach or was she an actress?
She was an actress and she was there to instigate. And she was there because she was after season 11, where the girls jumped like everybody who came into the house just for the sake of jumping that person. And they had to bring in the life coach to make it look a little bit more like we're helping the girls and stuff, because they were losing a lot of supporters because of season 11, and the views dropped a lot, and then they tried to be like, oh, we help the girls. No, but Laura Barron was actually a reality star herself. She was on Fear Factor.
Oh
So
wow.
so she was an actress.
Okay, and then there was something about Portia. Portia was gonna try. Oh, Portia wasn't gonna do anything. She just hated Natalie. And honestly, that whole fight was a lot.
Did you see it in person?
No, I was eating my pasta.
And did you hear the commotion outside?
I heard all of it, but I didn't care to go and watch. I literally was just like, well, you pushed a button, but at the same time, as ignorant as it is, I would have probably said the exact same thing as Natalie. At 22 years old, I would have said comment because everything is fair game. You knew that you had a baby and you came to a reality show that was ratchet, so it was fair game. Like you can't think it's okay to make fun of me or my choices, then I can't make fun of you and your choices. And I think that's part of the problem. Is a lot of us we did low blows, but you hear them back, and so even now, I wouldn't have put myself on season 13 or an all-star battle because the first time somebody says something about my kid, I punch them in their face or pick something up and hit them with it at this point because I'm not punching anybody. But they, it's all fair game. So
So you think Portia when like coming to that show, she set herself up for failure a little bit. Like she could have known that somebody will come for her kid and be a
Yeah.
little.
I think she knew it was a possibility, but I think at that point she didn't know if she didn't. Her and Natalie were cool when we were out. Like they would be dancing together, they would be cool. But else she didn't really vibe with her. Like we went out to eat a lot, her and Portia by themselves or whatever, and she didn't really vibe with Kendra that much. And I think for Natalie, she didn't know if she wanted Kendra as her mini me or Portia. And so Kendra was just the easier option because they had a very good deal on what they were going to do with each other. So
Yeah, it was like a win-win situation because Kendra wanted to get into the game and she needed somebody to bring her in, and Natalie needed somebody to boost her ego, right? And to like push around. Sometimes it was hard to watch. I just thought, Kendra, like, please, can you be your own person?
yeah,
But
Kendra in the real world, she went through a lot of that same struggle, but she's changed so much. She's such an amazing human.
so she grew into her own woman by now.
Oh, for sure. And now she's a mom, and you know she's killing it. So
She's gorgeous. She never needed a Natalie like to be great.
no,
Yeah. Mm. Were you asked to do redemption?
no. By that point, I had told them.
Leave me alone.
I told them that I made money in my real job than I would make on a reality show, which is true. That to give it to somebody that needed the money, like I'm not gonna go make an ass out of myself.
And
So,
it was no redemption. Like they were just shown worse than they were shown before. They all fell out. Friendships were destroyed afterwards, and it was just a mess. So there was no redemption at all.
yeah. Well, I mean, what did you expect to do? Putting people in the house that didn't really care for each other.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. You and Kendra were my favorites in your season. I love seeing your growth. Definitely. I think the whole spitting thing on BGC. Yeah, I mean, but that's common sense. Spitting in somebody's face, like we don't need to talk about that. But that happened a lot on your season. Like Kate spit it, Kendra spit it, Natalie spit. It was really the spitting season.
it was it was so vile. It was so gross. And I was like right front row and center for all of the spitting. And I'm like, I don't like what in your right mind would think that you could put your bodily fluids on me? Like, I don't know where you're from. We don't do that where I'm from. Like,
Your first tussle with Natalie in the first night, that was more fun than serious, right? You both were playing a little bit. Is real, or were you
yeah.
really genuinely mad at each other?
Oh, I was genuinely mad at everything, including the house plants at that point. I was so drunk. They had us in like limos posted up before we could get to the house with alcohol, but no food for hours. So I literally was so wasted before I even walked out. When you guys saw it, that's when I saw it and was like, oh, that happened. Like, okay, but I don't remember any of it. So yeah, it was bad.
Okay. What was the other question? Was Kate really sorry when she made that racist comment? Like, we
Yeah.
should ask Kate, I think.
No, Kate, if I told anybody, I don't. Um, she meant what she said. Just didn't like the way that it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Hindsight, watching it, she said and she meant that comment, but you just can't say that. And if she would say that in today's world, 12 years later, oh my gosh, she
Yeah.
been alive. But even then, I pulled her aside and was like, dude, like, what are you doing? I was, you know how you just made yourself look on national television? Like, I'm gonna apologize. And I'm like, but you can't take it back. You already said it. Like,
And it was obvious that this is really her way of thinking. Like, to her, it was totally normal to say that.
yeah, well, she grew up in a very white Republican household, and that you can see what she learned growing up. It was not okay.
Mm-hmm. So how was it for you dealing with being called a homophobe? Because I am a gay man and I watched that, and um, yes, you were not really sensitive about the way you said it, but to me it didn't say homophobe so much.
I'm not at all. Um, so what you had to understand was that Flo's back and forth and her never being able to make a decision got really fucking annoying. So what I said was to be mean to her. It was purposefully just because she couldn't have an adult conversation about her feelings or who she was, or like it's almost as if she didn't even accept herself. So
Mm-hmm.
my curiosity is what led to that question. But I've had gay people around my whole life. I've been with girls. Like it's not what you thought it was or saw. It was literally probably the ignorance of now bringing up his daughter was me bringing up something that though Flo wanted to act as if she was cool about, she wasn't 100% secure because of her family and her mom's views and stuff. And so I
Mm-hmm.
just dug that nail in that coffin all by myself.
Okay. And it ended in pushing her into the pool and she broke her ankle. That was
Yeah,
like the.
and then she was like Hulk smash afterwards, but um, she definitely deserved to get pushed in the pool. She was screaming in my face and like spit was coming out. It was just gross.
I understand. I understand that in that moment your reaction was like that, and I know you didn't intend to hurt her as bad as she was hurt. Then
Oh no,
I
I
guess
didn't hurt her at all. I just wanted her out of my face.
you just wanted her gone, right?
Yep. And Flo couldn't
That
control.
was an iconic moment. You two created together like a huge BGC moment.
Yeah.
Is it annoying to still see the clips, like
No,
of you getting thrown
funny is
around?
because at one point when she grabs me, I mean, I'm sitting there with my legs crossed, like I didn't care. And when she grabs me, Annie grabs my arm, and I'm like, dude, somebody let go of me. Like I'm getting pulled in two different ways. So all I could do is like tumble over. And then when I got up to square up, that's when production came out and they were like, go to the van. And then by the time I got to the van, I was like, lock the fucking doors. I'm not fighting. What the fuck do I look like? Dude, she's fucking crazy. Like, and I had no care. I knew I was mic'd up and I didn't care what it looked like. Lock the doors. I'm good. I'm going to go stay in a hotel tonight and get some sleep.
Did you really have the power to send her home, or was that a little bit scripted to bring drama? Was it already decided that she's going to stay?
No, they let me decide. I knew why Flo was there and I knew what it meant to her. And the whole situation was blown out of proportion. And I didn't want her going home because of something like that. So that's where
Cool.
her staying was actually genuine.
That's really cool. And she says nothing but nice things about you to this day. I don't know how it was in between, but all of you guys, she became a really positive person, I can just say. And she says she has love for all of you. Back then, I guess she was more problematic than she's now.
Yeah.
As we all were in our early 20s, right? I don't want to imagine being filmed in my early 20s drunk around people I wouldn't be around by choice.
Yeah, it was an adventure. It's probably that and having kids were the only things I did in my 20s.
Did it bring you problems later in like your career to get jobs where people like, oh, you're Amber from Bad Girls Club, that's risky or something?
Yeah, so I mean, not risky. I did have to like answer to some HR questions. And you know, the production company was able to give me raw footage so that I could prove my point. Because diversity and inclusion and all of that is super important. And making sure that my mindset and that I would create a honest, neutral atmosphere for employees. But other than that, I mean, I didn't. That's why I'm saying like how you guys see some of the things isn't how it was. So I didn't have an issue. I know Kendra was going to go to law school and she was having a really rough time getting into law school because of it. But I didn't have aspirations to be a lawyer, so I was pretty good.
Okay, great. Amber, first of all, thank you so much for your time. We didn't see you for many years. I didn't like. There's no interviews with you, so this is
I
really
think
epic.
one and the only one that's going to happen in the last 12 years. So
I appreciate that a lot. That's really an honor. Um, Is there anything else you want to say to the fans, to what, like a little bit of wisdom or something, advice?
I think the biggest thing is being the baddest person in the room. You don't have to be the loudest person or the most controversial person. Sometimes the person sitting there quietly is actually the person with the most knowledge and ultimately is the baddest person in the room.
Exactly. Amber, I wish you all the best. God bless you. Stay around and wish all the best for your family and everything. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, now I don't hear you anymore. Kisses, baby. I'm going offline. Thank you so much.